project lead of the geological sequestration saline aquifer component, Professor Donny Budlal, said this stage of Trinidad and Tobago's carbon capture and sequestration project started in March 2025. He noted that sequestration is avoiding carbon dioxide or CO2 from entering the atmosphere and manifesting as a greenhouse gas.
Geological sequestration. So it's where we capture the emissions and we store it underground, as the slide and the figure depict. That can be stored onshore, offshore. In the process of storing, that can actually be utilized as well. And I just have some examples, not to be extensive, but CO2 EOR is one area in which you can have storage with utilization. And there are different things that can be discussed there, and work is ongoing. And you can actually have surface use as well. And I've just depicted some of which are more short-term, right? As you see there, carbonated drinks.
The University of Trinidad and Tobago professor indicated that this project will help TNT in its response to programs like the European Union's Carbon Border Adjustment Mechanism.
Trinidad is a bit unique. Why? If you look at this table, our emissions that I illustrated previously largely comes from those two sectors. If you add up 48% from the IPPU sector and 42% from the energy, it's about 90%. But more so, our IPPU sector that contributes about 48% of our total emissions, when you compare that with the rest of the world, the average for that IPPU sector for the rest of the world is about 6%.
IPPU is an acronym for Industrial Processes and Product Use Emissions. Professor Budlal indicated that 74% of the local CO2 emissions come from just ammonia production.
This enables geological CCS in Trinidad and Tobago. This is a good pattern. Why? A large amount of our emissions come from one stationary source or sources in one 3-kilometer radius, the Point Lisas Industrial Estate. 2, typically, the emissions are relatively pure, a large amount of those. Because of the production process in ammonia, the nature of the emissions that are process emissions are relatively pure.
He outlined another important aspect of the local geological sequestration.
The sources are concentrated and are all close to our sinks, right? Relatively close distance to our geological sinks. And 3, the very subsector, that is the ammonia, that we think we can start with is one of the important subsectors for Trinidad and Tobago. Ammonia and methanol combined contributes about 10 to 12% of our GDP.
Professor Budlal also offered an update on the current state of the project.
We are characterizing the storage potential in our saline aquifers, and it will be mapped, right? So we started measuring the inventory. I'm pleased to announce that that has already been done, and it's awaiting verification. I will share some preliminary results of it soon. We are going to conduct geological assessments and reservoir characterization to estimate the capacity of the storage and saline aquifers.
The other members of the project team are Professors David Alexander, Rafi Hussain, and Andrew Jupiter. Karishma Maharaj and Kia John are also team members. I am Terry Ann Brown Campbell, and this is Evolving Energy.